Hello, and here we are. We're doing a tier list. First time doing a tier list, and we are power scaling characters from the Karate Kid series as well as the Cobra Kai series. Since season 5 just came out, we figured why not? I'm here with Tony and Alexa,
Hello.
and we're about to get into it.
Let's do this thing.
Yes, I'm so ready.
Okay.
Alright, so Brody, who do we have first?
First on the list, we got Danny Boy himself,
Daniel LaRusso.
Yes, sir.
Bonsai.
All right, now we got a few tiers. We got S, A, B, C, D, and F. The way we're gonna be going is just comparing like how well they perform in combat. So I think Daniel's a good place to start since after all he is the titular Karate Kid. What are we thinking for this one?
I'm thinking Daniel would go in A, and the reason I say A is because he's like obviously out of like this entire roster, he's like one of the stronger tier characters in general in the Karate Kid Cobra Kai universe. But I always feel like Daniel has something to always learn. Like he's not perfect.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I think
he's definitely high up there, but like
Yeah,
not
he's-
the highest.
yeah, I think A is a good spot, and then
Like,
Mr. Miyagi.
no
That's an instant S.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
has to
S.
Like,
be
he's he's just top notch. Anyways, Johnny Lawrence.
Johnny Lawrence. So Johnny,
I'd say he's also another solid A tier since
A?
he's up there with Daniel.
I always thought maybe a bit of a B.
I mean he was able to match Daniel pretty well like going into Cobra Kai they mostly were just getting put into stalemates, and plus there was that one fight where they pretty much just tied at the end.
I guess.
So I'd
They're
say
very different, but I think they're about like
yeah, for now he makes a pretty good
Okay.
A tier. John Kreese,
John.
the original villainous sensei.
John Kreese, originally in Cobra Kai, anytime he's like in a one-on-one fight, I think like especially for his age, he does a pretty good job.
Yeah, I
He
think by the
does.
time of Cobra Kai, he holds his own against guys like Daniel and Johnny. I mean, much like a lot of villains on this list, he got absolutely fodderized by Mr. Miyagi. So
Mhm.
we thinking he's a solid A up there with.
I agree.
I'd say A. Now the real question is, before we move on, now which one of these three would we put above the other in A?
If I had to guess, personally, I want to put Kreese definitely in the top of A since.
Mhm.
Especially considering he was able to hold his own and at sometimes even almost beat each of these guys individually. Well, not so much Daniel, but that's just because Daniel got the drop on him after he was already fighting Johnny.
Well, not only that, he's a mastermind. He planned.
Yeah,
He's
Kreese-
always 5 steps
Yeah,
ahead.
Kreese is very tricky, so I'd probably put him between Johnny and Daniel on this list. Next, I believe I think this is Tommy.
Is Tommy
Which
now
one?
we're getting into the OG Cobras.
okay?
Tommy, if I'm not mistaken, Tommy was the one who broke Daniel's leg in the first movie.
Oh,
If I'm not
okay,
mistaken,
I
I think
he was like the second top.
it was either
Cobra
him or
Kai's in
Bob.
the
It was
first
either him or Bobby. One of the two.
I think it was Tommy. I think you're right about Tommy.
But we can definitely fact check this later. But as of right now,
I mean, if he was able to get that high in the tournament, I mean, he has to be a decent fighter.
yeah,
I
I'd say
don't know that he'd be as
if-
high as John.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
think either
I'd-
C or B.
I'd say Tommy would probably be at least a B tier.
Mhm.
And then we got Bobby next. I believe, if I remember correctly, yeah, Bobby. Actually, no, I think it was Bobby who was the one who busted up Daniel. He
I was
was.
about to say all these kids look the same.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But honestly, I think me personally, just going off of what I saw in between the first film and also his brief appearances in Cobra Kai, I'd put Bobby in A equal with Johnny, just because he was just by comparison, he was able to face a peak performance Daniel in the tournament, and could confidently have beaten him. had Kreese not told him to like go for his leg.
But then again, though, you think Daniel would have beaten him if he didn't go for the leg, because he technically did like do a move that.
I mean,
Yeah, like he kind of cheated.
personally,
Yeah.
I would like put Bobby like equal to Johnny for now. And next we got Dutch. Now Dutch, like he was like probably like the most like menace when it came to like just how like violent he was. But honestly, like out of all these Cobras, he was not like he definitely wasn't like comparable to Bobby. I mean, he might have been Tommy's level, but if I had to guess, let's put him in a C for now.
See, not
It's
D.
a
And-
lower level Cobra.
Yeah, and I think
We got like 2 more Cobras.
yeah, we got a few
Yeah.
Cobras left from the first one.
I tried to like remember which one is which.
I believe I'm trying to see. I have a name list here for reference.
I was about to say, 'cause now it kind of leaves up to like who
Okay, I
went
believe.
further in the original tournament.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
I believe we have this guy here.
Hmm.
This is Jerry. He was like the first Cobra Daniel beat. I'd say,
Okay.
considering that he made it like he was in the tournament at all, but given the benefit of the doubt,
D.
D tier.
Yeah.
And then I believe this last one from the first film, where I'm trying to find the names. I think Jimmy. Okay, Jimmy was part of. I believe was also part of, like Johnny's main gang of Cobras, and I don't remember much about his fights, but I know he made it farther than Jerry. So let's give him put C tier just because that's around middle.
Yeah.
I was about to say, because if you look back at it, this was the first time we actually saw them like fight 1-on-1. Because
True.
throughout the entire movie, Daniel's just getting just beaten up by like the entire gang. We never see him actually do a 1-on-1 fight with anybody.
Yeah. So the tournament was his first one-on-one
Mhm.
experience, and now we're getting into Karate Kid 2. First up,
Oh snap!
everyone's favorite, Chozen.
Oh dude, Chosen.
Oh.
He's gotta be high.
I'd say either B
Like,
or A.
Personally, Chozen easily has to be top of A. I'd say he's above Daniel. He practically
above?
he.
Yeah, but he lost to Daniel.
He did.
In all fairness, a lot of the villains lost to Daniel, but I'd say Chozen was probably one of the bigger challenges, just because it wasn't tournament rules, and also once we had Chozen show up in Cobra Kai, he was really able to clean house, so he's definitely high A.
Chosen had the best villain entrance out of anybody. In that
He
final
really
fight
did.
scene, this guy
Yeah,
is goes on a freaking grappling hook, zooms in.
And he's just surprise, I'm here.
He's dressed as
My favorite
Scorpion
scene.
from Marvel.
Yeah. All right, next we have his uncle Sato. And just off of what we know, he's S. He's pretty much like Dark Side Miyagi for a good part of that movie.
Mhm.
He's at.
Take Miyagi though.
I mean, he could he hypothetically could, since they were trained by the same guy, and Sato trained Chozen, who was able to hold his own against Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, Chozen did lose, but again, that's just the power of being the antagonist in an 80s film. So Sato sits up there with an S with Miyagi, and next we got Terry Silver.
Terry
I
Silver.
think he's a good villain because he's smart.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He's not the
Terry's-
best fighter necessarily.
Actually, if sure, we saw him. The only fights we saw in Karate Kid 3 from Terry Silver, we saw him rough up Mike Barnes. He sort of roughed up Daniel a little bit in the dojo, but we also did see him and Kreese fight Miyagi. I mean, granted they lost because again Miyagi was practically untouchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say, I would actually put Terry Silver below Miyagi and Sato because Silver did something that not many of the other senseis could do.
Mhm.
He held his own against Chozen. Spoilers
Mhm.
for mild spoilers for season 5 if you haven't seen it. Which again, by this point, I'm hoping you would see it by now. So he holds his own against Chosen, Daniel, and Johnny at different points in Cobra Kai. Like, in fact, he's actually shown capable of beating Miyagi and Kreese's star pupils from back in the day.
So you would put him above Chosen?
Either he's equal, he's roughly equal to Chosen, or he's just slightly above. So I'd say let's put him
behind.
Behind Chosen.
I think for now we'll keep him behind Chosen, but he's definitely above Daniel, Kreese, and Johnny. Mike Barnes.
I'd say Mike Barnes goes A above what? Bobby is his name?
Yeah, Bobby.
I don't think he could beat Johnny though.
Personally, from what I saw of Mike Barnes, he's a pretty vicious guy. So I'd probably say I'd say he's either he's somewhere around these guys' level. He's he's definitely Johnny and Bobby level. Maybe a little bit high, maybe closer to Kreese.
I was supposed to say Daniel was ready to give up in the third movie, right when he was fighting him. So
all right. And next two kind of go hand in hand. These are Mike's goons, Dennis and Snake.
Dennis and Snake.
I mean, they were. They did they helped him rough up Daniel, but at the same time, they were they're side characters, mostly relegated to be henchmen. So
I was about to say, most of these, if you look back at just any bully in Karate Kid or just even Cobra Kai, it's half these guys do not fight alone. If they fought one-on-one, fair and square, actual tournament battle, they would get sucker punched. They would lose. But I think
yes.
I would
from
probably,
what I saw of Snake and Dennis, they'd have to. I'd probably put them in D tier.
That's what I
just
was
because they
too.
they weren't actual fighters per se, but they were mostly just goons.
Yeah.
I never really saw them fight anyone one-on-one. I don't think so. We don't know how they would hold up in a fight
Okay.
like that.
All right. The next group of characters we have are all from Karate Kid 4. So starting off the list is Julie Pierce, played by Hilary Swank.
Let's go.
And she was also trained by Miyagi. However, I don't judging off of how those fights went in that series, or not series, movie, just that movie. I'd have to say her she would have to go in B tier, not because she's not a bad fighter. It's just that comparatively she wasn't being put in a tournament. She was mostly just fighting just a crooked military captain or colonel rather.
Yeah, I was supposed to say we really didn't get to see too much of her.
If she was just in one movie. If she showed up more, then she could possibly be higher. Hopefully she shows up in Cobra Kai season 6.
I would love that. I think she's one of the only major character who hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah. And next we have Colonel Dugan.
Bald dude.
Yeah, we got Michael Ironside himself. He was again also fodderized by Miyagi like many of villains in the past. I'd say probably high B.
I was about to say, 'cause
Like-
it's been a while since I watched Karate Kid 4.
Yeah.
So.
Then next to him, we have Ned Randall, the secondary antagonist and Colonel Dugan's main pupil. B tier. He's he was again. He's like the Johnny Lawrence to Julie Pierce's Daniel LaRusso. Then we got the next three goons who are named Charlie, Morgan, and Gabe. Charlie is played by Walton Goggins. That's the main thing I remember.
What?
And honestly, I know, crazy. Walton Goggins of all,
why?
I don't know. I don't know what to expect. But honestly, these three, they're to me they're basically like Mike Barnes' goons. They're an easy D tier.
Yeah.
They're mostly just cannon fodder fighters.
My big question is why are all these guys trying to beat up on this one girl? What?
Honestly,
Right?
I feel like
Oh my
God.
honestly, I feel like that's just a prerequisite for a Karate Kid film.
Let's beat up on this kid.
It's just you gotta have a gang of goons, And now, like, that covers just the main 4 Karate Kid films.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we're getting into Cobra Kai. Characters from all 5 seasons.
This is
It's
gonna
gonna be hard.
This is gonna be hard.
Because we have to compare them to. Their predecessors.
Exactly.
Are
So-
you comparing them to like old Daniel and Johnny, or
like,
when
I
they
think-
were younger?
I think it's sort of because again, a lot of what the younger versions of the characters from the trilogy did,
Mm-hmm.
or the quadrilogy rather, like what they did sort of carries over to their present day selves.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a mashup of feats. So of course we got to start off with Miguel. Like Miguel Diaz, he's easily like one of like the top fighters we've got in the show.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of Prime Miguel, like next to like a lot of like these other guys,
Mm-hmm.
like to me Miguel seems like an easy A tier.
I think
I
Miguel.
think so
because
too.
like-
Maybe,
like-
Daniel's level.
Yeah, he definitely he's definitely like
past Johnny.
Ooh.
Would you
Yeah.
say that?
Honestly, I think so.
honestly I feel like a lot of the kids are definitely like at a similar level of their senseis, but honestly I think since we're technically putting like Daniel Kreese and Johnny like kind of within the same region,
Mhm.
I'd say just because the student has yet to outpace the master,
Yeah.
we'll put him above Mike Barnes.
Yeah.
Then next Robbie Keane.
Robbie.
Oh, Robbie. This is
Alright.
fun because he's also an easy A
He's gotta
because
be A. I don't know if he'd be above
Like,
or
he-
after
he's
Miguel,
around, like him and Miguel are easily tied as like the two like best
Mm.
fighters
They
like
both,
of
like,
the
beat
current
each other.
generation.
I was about to say, Robbie's strong, but at the same time, I feel Miguel's ethics are much better than Robbie's half
yeah,
the time.
like Robbie definitely had a ways to go before he
Mhm.
found true balance. Sam LaRusso,
Sam,
another like big fighter from Miyagi-Do.
it's just kind of difficult. Where would
Maybe
you?
A?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of like the top fighters from the show would definitely have to be like A tier
Yeah.
characters.
It's just like where in the line would you go?
Yeah,
Because I mean, she was like in the second tournament in Cobra Kai. She
yeah,
was in the top.
her and Tori went head to
Yeah.
head. Like she also fought, I believe, Piper. Yeah,
Yeah.
So she's definitely up there. Honestly, I'd have to say, I'd have to put her like between Bobby and Mike, just
Mhm.
because I mean, obviously like she's got that temperament like her father,
Mhm.
that makes her like sort of like a problem, because she isn't always as focused, and that's just a big thing is like she very is much her daughter she's very much her father's kid.
Mhm.
All right, then
Her daughter's cat.
I know words. There's something. Aisha.
Aisha.
See,
I was
I remember
thinking.
being pretty good, but not
like
like
she
that.
was. I mean, she did pretty. Like she got pretty far in
Mhm.
her first tournament, and this was before they added a girls division.
Yeah.
So
I was supposed to say it's not every day where
I'd say-
somebody gives somebody a front wedgie.
yeah, I'd say I'll give Aisha the benefit of the doubt and give her at least a B, but that could change.
Yeah.
I'd say B.
Yeah, I'd say B for now.
Mm.
It's not quite A, I don't think.
But I'd personally put her. Personally, it's between B and C because she's a capable fighter. It's just she doesn't fight often.
Yeah.
Hawk,
Oh, hot.
Oh,
Hawk-
one of the best. I think.
instant A tier.
Yeah,
Personally, I
right.
think
I think
like he's
He might be better
somewhere
than Mike.
he's somewhere around like Robbie Keane, Mike Barnes level.
I was thinking you might actually be better than Robbie, in my opinion.
Didn't he beat Robbie?
True,
He did beat.
he
Robbie.
did beat
Yeah, in the
Robbie.
tournament.
Yeah, I'd say Hawk is definitely like we have the trifecta here of
Mhm.
Miguel, Hawk, and Robbie
Mhm.
as the best three fighters.
Yeah.
All right, next up we got Dimitri.
Dimitri, my underdog.
Underdog Dimitri.
The king.
He's definitely a tough cookie, but
Mhm.
I'd have to say like just because like he's still got room to grow. For now, we're gonna have to put him at like a C
You
tier.
think C? But wasn't he like top 4 in the tournament?
I mean, he did get pretty far in the tournament, like
Like a
His
tournament with
skill
high
level
stakes
isn't as-
too.
true, but yeah, at
As
this,
others.
but if you take these characters out of the tournament setting and go
Mhm.
off of just like the outside fights,
Yeah.
Even
but you know what? Like he did so good on his own sometimes against like
he
Hawk.
did have his
Yeah.
moments where he was able to hold his own.
If-
I'd say maybe like he's
like low.
he's like a low B.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kyler Park he was a bully in season 1. He joined Cobra Kai around like season 3.
Yeah.
Let me put him like somewhere in the
I'd
middle
say C.
Yeah.
He C tier. Honestly, it would be funny to put him in F for fodder because he just gets fodderized by literally like everyone he fights for the most part.
Yeah.
All right, next is you guys probably might not know him, but this next guy is named Xander. He was Miguel's close to last opponent in
remember.
season 1.
I remember
this is-
Xander.
This is the guy that managed to beat Aisha before losing to Miguel. So he's definitely up there.
I would put him would you put him in D or C?
Honestly, he is technically a previous All Valley champion, so you definitely got to put him in B tier. Like
B.
he's probably
He beat Aisha, right?
yeah. So I definitely. I feel like Dimitri is roughly comparable to him now. Maybe.
I was
Maybe
about
not.
to say because you also have to remember it's like this is like before like the teachings of like
True.
Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai.
True.
Because with those you have like a lot more like stronger fighters come into the valley.
True.
Good
Of that.
combine.
All right, and then the last character we have coming out of season 1 is Abe, who is a background Miyagi-Do. Personally, I don't recall ever seeing him fight, so he's gonna have to go in F just because we don't know, we haven't really gotten to see much of him.
I don't really remember.
So going into season 2 and onwards, we have Tori, and honestly, just from what you can see, Tori is probably she's definitely an A tier,
Yeah.
and she fits alongside she's probably she's definitely better than Sam.
I was about to say she kind of has the same energy as Barnes.
She,
Is she
her
better
her
than Barnes, though?
good question. Honestly, Mike Barnes gets he's still a really tough cookie.
I was about to say
And,
I think both
but
of them
I
would
feel
be in
like-
the same level.
Yeah.
I feel Mike Barnes, we could if we're just talking about his prime, is definitely in a similar league to a lot of the students in Cobra Kai, just in the show. But if we factor in how he holds up in when he comes back in season 5, I personally would have to move him up to closer to the old guard's level because he could hold it. He held his own well for a guy who was 30 years out of practice. I'd personally, just for now, we're gonna move Mike up closer to Johnny and Kreese level.
Mm-hmm.
And so next we have everyone's favorite comic relief, Stingray.
Stingray.
Oh, yeah, I love Stingray.
Oh, Stingray,
Yeah.
very fun character.
He's actually a pretty good fighter.
He is
I-
a good
I'd say-
fighter.
Personally, yeah, he considering he had a little bit of training.
Considering he beat a bunch of kids up at the age of 30 or something like
Right.
that.
Yeah, that's again very questionable situation he was in. But Stingray, he's definitely
Would you put him in B?
actually personally, I think he's
I think he's C.
I think he's
Yeah.
C. He might possibly edge out Kyler, but in all fairness, Kyler has had a few moments where he can do well. It's just he's too cocky when it comes to going up against guys like Hawk and Miguel.
Yeah.
That he just gets absolutely stomped.
I think Stingray and Kyler could be about equal.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Next we have a background Cobra named Edwin. He's again I just remember him being in a lot of background fights. He's probably, if I remember correctly, he considering how long he's been around, and the fact that he's stuck around, he'd probably have to be probably somewhere top of D, low C.
Yeah.
All right, so next we got Bert.
Bert.
Thing is, as iconic as Bert is, he's let's be real. He's basically a fodder character.
He tries his best.
He tries
He
so
gives his
hard.
dark.
And if that's the case, you can also throw in Nate as well, because him and Nate they go hand in hand as the two scrawny kids that that are okay, but are usually used as the telltale sign that something big's about to go down, because they just get thrown around.
Yeah.
And plus, they usually before they became allies, they were mostly just beating up each other because there was no one comparable. So they go hand in hand as really low tier characters, since they aren't given much chance to improve.
For sure.
And then we got Chris.
I like Chris. Chris, I feel is pretty. He's decently strong. His growth throughout this series.
Chris has gotten
he's a
good,
lot better.
but but personally, I don't see him as being he's definitely not
Not
an
an
A tier.
No.
He's probably I definitely have to say B or C.
I'd say C.
Yeah, C tier. He's probably somewhere around Kyler and Stingray, something like that.
I say he's much better than his friend, who's actually next.
Mitch.
Mitch. Has Mitch won a single fight in his life?
Truth be told,
honestly.
Chris and Mitch are the two guys that they're definitely not pushovers, but they do lose more than they win.
They try really hard. They just don't have the skill set.
I think Mitch and Chris are another set of hand in hand fighters.
Yeah.
So that wraps up our season 2 contenders. Going into season 3, we have 4 characters. First is Captain Turner. This is the guy this is the guy who sort of helped, who was Kreese's commanding officer. He was the one who fought Kreese over the pit. Honestly, he fought against a very young Kreese, and he was probably also taught the same way of the fist techniques that Kreese and Silver employ.
Would you say B though? Because it's
I'd put him up there with personally for me, I'd say he's somewhere he's around Colonel Dugan.
I'd say he might be better
Tommy
than
range.
Colonel Dugan though.
He might be. I don't think he's A, but I think he'd be top
Great.
B,
He's definitely close to top of B. Let's keep the two military men together for now, and then
because the thing, I don't know, because my big thing is he lost to his former student who was one of the main leaders of the groups that were going in during the war. He lost to a child.
Yeah, technically speaking, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, unless we want to create an unknown tier for characters that we're not sure of. But next is a character who, technically speaking, is not a karate student, but I felt he should be included regardless, and that is Sean. Sean Payne. This was Robbie's kind of buddy when he was in juvie during season 3.
Yeah.
I mean, just going off the fact that he threw hands with Robbie, that honestly, and he has no formal martial arts training. He just knows how to throw hands.
I say Sean would probably be for above everybody in C.
Yeah, I'd say he's just because he has no formal training.
To be higher, but
I was about to say, even with Robbie, who had training, he's when they had their one-on-one fight, they Robbie still had difficulty but
that's just because Sean is just a big guy, so that means he can he can throw a punch.
He has that raw power.
Yeah, and then we got 2 background Cobras from season 3, Rickenberger and Paul. Now
The
Rickenberger,
Rickenberger.
you might remember him because like he was the guy that had Dimitri in an arm lock and he yelled "Yo Hawk, free shot" like during the house party fight.
Yeah, okay.
And I'd have to definitely put Rickenberger in B tier, like just because he was like holding his own like in the like during that whole house party. I mean, granted, like he was one of like two guys who managed to like pin Dimitri, so it was technically double teaming.
Mhm.
But you can imagine like if like he did put in a good amount of work, so he's probably somewhere around here. And then Paul,
I don't remember his.
I don't. Again, like a lot, there's a good amount of background characters, like so, like who are probably okay fighters.
Mhm.
So for now, I'm just gonna put Paul somewhere. Just
Mhm.
throw him in D tier.
Okay.
All right, now we're getting down to the last few. Devin Lee. She was an interesting one because she only had a little bit of training compared to the likes of Sam and Tori, and like she made it pretty far, like for Eagle Fang, in the season. The season 4 All Valley.
I think she grew a lot in season 5.
Yeah,
too.
she was definitely getting better. So
What'd you say?
I'd say
B.
yeah, like top of B.
Really?
She could hold her own against
Yeah,
Tori.
Yeah, she was like she's definitely like she's not quite A tier yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think she could be with more training, but I don't think
Yeah.
she's had enough training to get to that level yet.
Yeah.
Bobby better watch out.
Yeah, honestly, I feel bad for Bobby being so low in A
At the same
at this
time,
point
it's
because I'm for now I'm putting him like so like just right here.
really.
Like, he's-
I don't know.
No, I
No.
wouldn't say. I felt like if he was a student and he was going up against like one of these two girls, he would get beaten up. He would,
Okay.
he
I
would
don't
probably
think he
lose a
could.
battle.
Okay, maybe we'll put him back for now. And then next we got Piper, who again I'd say is like she was a pretty decent fighter. Again, like she joined Cobra Kai in season 4.
Mhm.
Like, I'm trying to remember who else she fought in the tournament. I think she fought just Sam, right? Wouldn't you
I think
say?
she just fought Sam, but lost.
Like we only saw her fight Sam. So, and she personally, I think she's a lot of room to grow because we didn't see much of her after that.
Would you put her in C?
I personally would put her like around just around these two,
Yeah.
like Dutch.
Mhm.
She could hold her
And
own in
Jimmy.
fights, but we just haven't seen
All right.
enough of her.
All right, we're getting into the home stretch now. We got Kenny Payne, Sean's little brother.
Yeah.
Kenny Payne, man, he brings on the actual
Yeah, he's-
Kane.
He does.
Yeah, he's like he definitely has like a good amount of speed to him for a little guy,
Mhm.
but at the same time, like just because you get like you're being taught by Robbie,
Mhm.
like doesn't mean you get to be a top tier fighter. And besides,
But he held his own in the fight against Robbie in the tournament.
in all fairness, like for most of that fight, Robbie was purposely holding back because he didn't want to hurt his friend.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like again, like Kenny is hard to gauge because we actually have like seen him, like he definitely like would have to be somewhere C tier for now. Like
I'd
definitely-
say
Well, he
he
beat
could probably
Hawk,
beat his
too.
brother.
but again, Hawk, that was a cheap shot that he learned from Terry Silver. So
I think he would be better than his brother, though. Honestly, like if you would,
yeah,
either
I
he would be low B or like.
he's
I mean, he got far in the tournament too.
true. Like he's definitely got like the potential to be great.
And you guys have more, like you guys watch
Yeah,
more
the
season 5
two
than I
the
have,
two of
so.
us like have seen everything.
Mhm.
So, this is a hard one. I honestly want to put like Kenny like around here, but at the same time,
But do you think with his training, do you think his brother can beat him?
Because his
I
brother
think-
has no formal training.
okay, but at this personally, I could still see Sean winning. One, he's bigger, and two, I don't think like Kenny would would personally want to have that kind of drive against like to like hurt his own brother like
I
that.
mean, let's forget about like
Because don't
this-
forget, he does look up to Sean. And
I
I
mean,
know
but power-wise, though,
There-
like, say, like, Sean wasn't his brother or anything like that. He was just, like another, like,
just another bully.
just another bully. Like, what do you think? It's like as a power scale, like, do you think he's more powerful than him, or would you?
I'd say just keep them roughly equal right now. So I think Kenny's in a good spot. And I think that's a good way to move on to Anthony LaRusso, who I only have him so late just because he's just starting to learn karate in season 5. And
How is he, like?
He's
F.
good at like
He's
strategy, but
he's
he
an
doesn't
F.
have the skill.
he has no skill, but he's a brilliant mind, no skill whatsoever. Because he was mostly just he was basically just being shielded by everybody.
Mhm.
So he can stay he can stay. Honestly, I'm gonna put him below Abe just because Abe actually has formal training. Kim Dae-un, the big new sensei.
She's gonna be like A, I think.
That's an instant A.
Yeah.
She's around this level. She's actually
I think she
Better than
could
John?
maybe be Creeps.
I think she's closer to Daniel and Silver level.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because she's the granddaughter of the guy who taught Silver and Kreese.
Oh.
So so she definitely isn't any kind of pushover.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is about where she goes.
I think
Is
that's good.
definitely
Yeah.
this definitely is where she fits.
Well, now that we have this complete, is there any last minute changes you guys want to make to this tier list in general? So something that we might want to move around before we actually lock this down.
That's a good question. So just let's.
I'm still between these two right
I
here and
know.
see.
I hear you.
Would win because he has actual formal training.
You got a point. So
He's taken
I
people
think-
bigger than him.
I think, yeah, that's true. Everyone, a lot of the people he's fought are definitely taller than him. They're bigger guys. So I think you guys might have changed my mind.
honestly, I even think he could go in B tier.
I think he could be in B.
Honestly, I'm.
I think
in season 5, he was Cobra Kai's one of Cobra Kai's main, most powerful fighters.
I was supposed to say I think he could beat Aisha. I think he could beat what's
I
the
think he could beat
guy in the blue.
Yeah, I think. See, Kenny is definitely up here, and now that I think about it, I kind of want to move Dimitri above Rickenberger. He's definitely not A tier yet,
Mhm.
but he's definitely in a similar league to Devin, Colonel Dugan,
Mhm.
Julie, and all these guys. He's this is about where I imagine their league to be as of right now. For all we know, Julie and
Mhm.
Colonel Dugan, they could possibly actually be A tier characters.
I was about to say,
we just
don't
don't
enough
know.
about
I was supposed to say with Julie, do you think
We
she? Sure, she got trained by the best sensei in the world, but at the same time, it's
like
does her
we
story
haven't-
continue?
yeah,
after
we
that?
don't know. I think the most we've been told about Julie Pierce after the next Karate Kid was that
Mhm.
the producers of Cobra Kai talked about how she has probably been living a really healthy, successful life. She's just been doing her own thing and applying Mr. Miyagi's lessons in her everyday life, and has presumably met Daniel at least one time, which was probably Mr. Miyagi's funeral. Because Mr. Miyagi died before the start of Cobra Kai, and we know that's probably the only time her and Daniel met as of right now.
Okay.
So I think with that, we can call this tier list done.
I think
I
so.
think so too.
I'm very
Yeah.
happy with it.
I think,
This is-
this was a very well thought out tier list, and obviously there's a lot more characters that we could have included, especially from season 5, because we had at least 5 more senseis
Mhm.
that were added to the Cobra Kai cast. However, I could not find good reference pictures for everybody.
So
there-
they're fighting enough to accurately.
Yeah, so there's a lot of characters that could that were left on the cutting room floor just because I couldn't find pictures for them for the tier list. But I definitely would have to say the new senseis are definitely A tier for sure, just because they can hold their own against guys like Chosen and Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I think we can say that this has been our Cobra Kai power scaling, and yeah, this was very productive. And I'm glad we could agree on a lot of the picks here. And yeah, I guess maybe there's room for another tier list in the future. Like may not have to even be Cobra Kai, but yeah, definitely open to doing more tier lists. So yeah, bye everyone.
See you later.